The house that never changed. In the quiet town of Black Ridge, there was a narrow brick house that looked exactly the same for over 30 years. Every neighbor agreed on one thing. No one had ever seen anyone move in or move out. Yet every evening, a single light appeared in the upstairs window at precisely 8:15 p.m. The owner, 64-year-old Thomas Hale, lived alone. He rarely spoke to neighbors, collected his mail once a week, and always paid his bills in cash. He never missed a property tax payment, never caused trouble, and never invited visitors inside. Everything changed on February 9th, 2021. The mail began piling up. After 2 weeks, local police conducted a welfare check. The front door was locked from the inside. There were no signs of forced entry. Officers entered through a rear window and found the house completely empty. Thomas Hale had vanished. His wallet, passport, car keys, and even a half-finished cup of tea remained on the kitchen table. The television was still on, quietly playing an old documentary. It looked as though he had stood up for a moment and never returned. Investigators expected an easy missing person case. Instead, they uncovered something impossible. Every room inside the house had been carefully renovated over the years, except one small bedroom on the second floor. The room contained outdated furniture, faded wallpaper, and a wooden rocking chair facing the window. There was also a calendar. Its date had never been changed since October 18th, 1993. Detectives searched old police archives and found a forgotten report from that exact day. A 14-year-old boy named Ethan Brooks had disappeared while walking home from school. Despite one of the largest searches in the county's history, no trace of him was ever found. Thomas Hale had never been considered a suspect. Forensic teams examined the untouched bedroom using modern technology unavailable in the 1990s. Hidden beneath several layers of paint, investigators discovered tiny bloodstains embedded in the wooden floorboards. DNA testing confirmed the blood belonged to Ethan Brooks. The discovery shocked the entire country. Police immediately obtained permission to excavate beneath the house. Days passed with no results until ground-penetrating radar detected an unusual concrete structure below the basement. Workers carefully removed part of the floor. Instead of a burial site, they uncovered a narrow underground room. It contained shelves filled with newspaper clippings, cassette recordings, children's drawings, and hundreds of handwritten notebooks. Every notebook described people from the town, their routines, their habits, their favorite places. Some entries stretched back more than 25 years. Detectives realized Thomas Hale had spent decades secretly observing nearly everyone around him. Then they found Ethan's school backpack. Inside were textbooks, a broken watch, and homework dated the day he disappeared. But there were still no human remains. The notebooks became the center of the investigation. One final journal ended with a disturbing sentence. "They never notice what is beneath their feet." Those words led detectives to inspect nearby properties once owned by Hale before he purchased his current home. At an abandoned farmhouse 6 miles outside Black Ridge, investigators found another underground chamber. This time, they discovered skeletal remains belonging to 3 unidentified victims. Months later, DNA testing identified one of them as Ethan Brooks. Evidence suggested he had died shortly after his disappearance. As investigators continued searching Hale's past, they linked him to several unsolved disappearances, across two neighboring counties. Yet Thomas Hale himself had completely disappeared. His bank accounts remained untouched. His phone had never been used again. His vehicle was found abandoned near a forest 40 miles away, wiped clean of fingerprints. An international search lasted nearly 2 years without success. Some investigators believe Hale carefully planned his escape years before police ever suspected him. Others think he may have died alone somewhere under a false identity. Officially, the case remains partially open. Thomas Hale is still listed as a wanted fugitive, and several disappearances connected to his notebooks remain unsolved. The house on Willow Street has since been demolished. But locals still remember one strange detail. For nearly 30 years, the upstairs light switched on every evening at exactly 8:15 p.m., as if someone inside was making sure the room was never forgotten.